During an interview, if your recruiter or your hiring manager asks you that, can you join early? Do you know the right way to answer this question without risking your job offer? Well, in this video, I'll also tell you how to respond when you're asked about early release from your notice period. But before this, let me share one mistake that I have seen costing candidates their job offers. It frequently happens. Well, I'm talking about misinforming companies about your notice period. And I have come across so many cases. People connect with me on Instagram or share this with me offline, and I've seen in my professional field as well, where candidates accept an offer saying they can join within 30 days, while their actual notice period is 60 or 90 days. The assumption is usually this: well, I'll manage my notice period, not to worry. But just because your manager released some of your colleagues earlier than their notice period does not mean that you will also be released, early. Your early release depends on number of factors like your role, the projects you're handling, and the rapport you're having with your manager. Very important. And in many cases, what happens is that a few days before the actual date of joining in the new company, candidates call the recruiter and says that, the manager is not releasing them early, so they will not be able to join early. So they will only be able to join only after the notice period, the actual notice period. And at that stage, it becomes very difficult for the hiring manager to accept this, especially when the project requirement is really, really urgent. And from an industry perspective, this also becomes a trust issue. In fact, in my career, I have revoked offers in few cases because the hiring agency impacted at the last moment. I've also seen where situations, candidates had already resigned, but when the offer gets revoked, they are not being able to withdraw their resignation because their replacement has been already hired. And even if they stay back, surviving in that role becomes really, really difficult. So my simple advice to all of you: always disclose your actual notice period. And if a recruiter or the hiring manager asks whether you can join early, a professional response could be like, my formal notice period is 90 days or 60 days, and I prefer to be transparent about it. So once I put down my paper or put down my resignation, I will certainly request an early release depending on the project handover and obviously the business need. But I would not be able to commit to a timeline which is not under my control. And if you want, I can also make a separate video on how to negotiate your notice period. Just come and negotiate and I'll do one.